Dunkin' Donuts, Verizon, WB Mason, and the Yawkey Foundations.
From our Fenway Park studios, WB Mason's Extra Innings.
All right, nice ball game for the Red Sox tonight. Welcome to WB Mason's Extra Innings. And Sammy, you know, we talk a lot about the bullpen, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, as the show moves along. But how about the pitching performance of John Burkett? You called it before the ball game. You were telling me how confident you are with him on the hill. I was a little skeptical when you talked about how confident you were, but you hit the nail on the head.
Right. As of late, John has been really pitching well. The curveball has been tremendous for him. When you have a young team like the Tigers who are going to come out and not be patient up there, this is exactly what John needs. And when you have a team that's going to do that, you got a winner.
Yeah, let's see what Jerry Remy has to say. Rem, we watched John Burkett go out there and basically throw strikes again and work ahead in the count, and continues, I guess, of late to give the Red Sox what they need out of that number 5 spot.
Well, these are the kind of clubs that he can really excel against. You know, you got a lot of young players, you've got a lot of impatient players, and once he starts throwing them that slow curveball, they can't seem to stay off it. So, you know, they made a little run at him tonight, but Burkett continued to throw strikes, and then once he got in trouble with his fastball, which was not very often, he went right back to that slow breaking stuff. And a young club like this, a young impatient club like this, is going to chase that pitch and get themselves out, actually.
Jerry, with the way the starting pitching has gone of late, that doesn't change the Red Sox desire, I would think, to add a solid pitcher to that rotation, does it?
Oh, I think they're going to keep their eyes open and see what's available out there. We're getting very close now as we move into July to the trading deadline. And in any club that's in contention, obviously, Bob, they're going to be looking around to see what's available. But I don't think they're going to give the house away either to try to get somebody. You know, if something outstanding pops up out there that they feel they can put in this rotation and really help them out, they may do that. But, you know, things have stabilized an awful lot with this pitching staff, not only with the starters, but in particular in that bullpen.
And Red Sox all-star catcher Jason Varitek does it again tonight. Tell you what, he's in one of those grooves. It's nice to see him hit over 300, and tonight actually a little higher in the order, too.
Well, yeah, they had kind of a funny lineup out there tonight. A lot of guys getting some time off. Varitek moving up in the lineup, and it doesn't matter where you put him right now. He's hot. He's swinging the bat well from both sides of the plate. He's hit that home run tonight left-handed. I got to tell you, that ball was crushed. I mean, it was still going up when it hit that foul pole. But he's doing everything well. You know, offensively he's playing well. Defensively he's playing well. He's as prepared as any catcher in baseball to start a game and to keep his pitches occupied in that game. So, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him get a chance to play in that All-Star game.
Jerry, do I have to log on to the RemyReport.com to find out who the top dog is, or can you give us a little hint right now?
You know, I'm going to have to give that one a little thought. I've been leaning toward Burkett in this one, but I'm going to have to take another look at that offense and see if I can find somebody there. There might be a deputy dog tonight, too.
How long do we have to wait to log on to find out?
As soon as I get back to the hotel.
All right, there you go. Jerry, thanks a lot. Jerry Remy calling the game for us tonight alongside Sean McKnight. I like the little deputy dog. Well, we know who our star of the game is. Brought to you by Subaru of New England. You don't have to wait because we're going to tell you it is John Burkett. Does a solid job on the hill tonight. 7 strong innings, 3 runs on just 4 hits. Walks only 1, Sam. That's important. He can't afford to put guys on base.
Right. Like he already spoke earlier, he said he doesn't have the stuff to get everyone out. So if you don't have him fishing, you definitely can't walk him.
John Burkett, our star of the game, brought to you by Subaru of New England, driven by what's inside. We'll have post-game reaction from Detroit as the Red Sox win the opening game of this 3-game series, and they're on a nice little roll now, and we'll also talk to you. Phone lines now open at 1-866-ASK-NESN, 866-275-6376. We're coming back right after this.
Sosa.
Jace!
Hey, oh, come on. 2 out of 3. I don't think so. Hey, who paid, Bruce?
For extra convenience, extra value, and extra service, stop at Extra Mart. When you're on the go, you need a little extra. Fuel up on Extra Mart's Deli Joe sandwiches, Brew Boy coffee, and more. For your car, Extra Mart offers the brands you know at competitive prices. To protect your lips from the unpredictable spring weather, Extra Mart offers a full line of chapstick products, America's favorite lip balm. With over 150 locations throughout New England, be smart. Shop Extra Mart.
Tools, tools, tools. When you got a job to do, they're always on your mind. And that's why you trust the store that loves tools as much as you do. More people buy their tools from Sears than anywhere else in America, because only Sears has the best selection and all the top brands, including Craftsman, America's #1 tool brand. Right now, get 0% financing until January 2004 on all Craftsman hand and power tools over $99 at America's #1 tool store. Sears, good life, great price.
I dreamed of only becoming the best. Drugs will certainly not allow you to be the best that you can be. There are no drugs on my planet. Drugs kill dreams.
James Blake, Megan Shaughnessy. It's the Hartford Fox Force of World Team Tennis in 7 home matches this summer. For tickets, call 877-FOX-FORCE or check out foxforce.com.
Tonight's show is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
All right, the Red Sox leave Toronto. They take their show to Detroit to take on Alan Trammell and the lousy Tigers. 65 losses before tonight, but they had just swept the Chicago White Sox. No problem for the Boston Red Sox. Todd Walker gets it going, his 20th double of the year. Gabe Kapler goes through Mike Coverage's stop sign. Good thing, because he is safe at the plate. It's 1-0. Still in the first, Manny Ramirez back up through the drawn-in infield. You know how bad the Tigers are when you're playing the infield in a 1-0 game in the first inning. It's 2-0. Then it's Nomar's turn in the second. He's been in a slump. Not anymore.
Right. It was just nice to see him chime in right there in this potent offense. You got to get him going. He comes through with a double right there, a single.
Yes, it's a single to right field. Scores a couple, and it's 4-0. Bottom of the third, Alex Sanchez will get the Tigers on the board, sends this one over Gabe Kapler's head. Impressive to see little Alex Sanchez driving over Kapler's head to score, and it's 4-2, Detroit back in the ball game. At this point in the game, you kind of felt like the Tigers were gaining the momentum, because the pride of Northeastern, Carlos Pena, I jinxed the Red Sox, Sam. I jinxed him. I said it on the pregame show that he hadn't yet to hit a home run against the Sox. Well, he does. His 5th home run with his 8th home run of the year, and it's 4-3. Then it's Jason Veritek getting that one back. A 2-out shot in the 7th, his 16th of the year. How valuable has he been?
Just tremendous. You know, the guy was first pushing for his bid for the All-Star. No need to do that anymore.
You know it's money in the bank. Byung-Hyun Kim, again, outstanding in the 9th inning. 1-2-3 as the Red Sox hold the Detroit Tigers to just 4 hits in this ball game. Detroit's offense clearly very poor, but it is a team, Sam, that's coming off their most successful series of the season when they swept the White Sox.
Right, but you still see that there was some concerns. Anytime you got the infield in the first inning, you know that you're struggling, especially offensively. So for me, I saw them getting right into the defensive mode, and I knew they were in trouble right away.
Well, we talked about Nomar's hit. We said get him out of the slump, but I don't know if he's really out of the slump, Sam. He struck out a couple more times tonight. He was hit by a pitch as well, and then lined one to third base. What's your take on Nomar at the plate right now?
Well, right now, you know, when Nomar is going good, he goes through all his little things or whatever, but then when he swings, he's never off balance like he is now. I've seen a couple of times where he's been swinging and he's way off balance when he's hitting. So if he keeps his head on the ball a little bit longer, his approach usually is to try to see the ball as long as possible and then explode. Right now, I see him guessing a lot.
Yeah, so the one hit, but again, you don't usually see Nomar strike out like he does, that he's done of late, Sam. That's the big thing. Right,
especially on sliders down and away. If you notice even today on a changeup and then a slider away, he's kind of like just waving at the ball. I feel when you're doing that, that's because in your mind you're kind of guessing on what the pitch might be before it gets there, and then in your mind you kind of already say you're going to swing. So for me, I like to see him not really be more patient, but be more selective in the pitch he's swinging at.
All right, we'll get Grady Little's reaction to this win tonight for the Boston Red Sox, and lots more post-game reaction from Comerica Park. But as we leave you, it's time for our snapshots of the game, brought to you by Kodak. Kodak's Perfect Touch Processing, helping you to make the most of every picture.
jump when you can fly? Why leave when you can make an exit? Why slip when you can slide? Why just drive when you can change the way you move through the world? The V6 Nissan Altima.
It was the crime of the century. Babe Ruth sold to the New York Yankees.
And I meant to find out why.
From W.B. Mason's low-price assurance detectives.
The name's Mason, W.B. Mason. It was 1920. My partner and I went undercover to Fenway Park. After searching high and low for leads, witnesses, clues, I knew we had found the real scene of the crime.
Hello, boys.
We're low-price assurance detectives. Investigating the sale of Babe Ruth.
I know you.
And we know you. But what do you know about this?
My office supply bills show.
So? That's pretty high. So high, the Red Sox sold something big to pay it.
Something big? Oops.
If only the Red Sox had saved money on my office supplies. Who knows what might have been?
Who knew? Who but W.B. Mason?
Don Orsillo here, and so is July on NESN. We're celebrating with everybody's favorite red, white, and blue team, the Boston Red Sox. NESN is your home for Red Sox baseball. We start July on the road with fireworks provided by the Devil Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays, and Tigers. And then the All-Star break. 3 days, no games, no fun. And then we're back with more Jays, Rays, Yankees, and Rangers. It's July on NESN, and we guarantee fireworks all month long.
All right, here's the box score for tonight. I guess that leadoff spot is a little unlucky. Johnny Damon said that the other night, and tonight Gabe Kapler goes 0 for 4 at the top for the Red Sox. Todd Walker in the number 2 hole, 2 for 4. Nomar had 1 hit. Manny had a hit in the first inning. Kevin Millar. But Jason Varitek, he was the offensive star tonight.
Right, it doesn't matter where he is in the lineup. This guy's just been on fire. Like I said, ever since everyone was pushing for the All-Star, he's really pushed his game up a notch, and he's very deserving.
Do you know that Trot Nixon is now 24 for 60 at Comerica Park? This guy, I'll tell you what, if he ever decides to leave the Red Sox, the place for him to go to play is in Detroit. He also has 6 home runs in Comerica Park and just 60 at-bats. That's the place for Trot Nixon if he ever leaves here. And Freddie Sanchez also a couple of hits tonight. That was good to see. The pitching continues to be solid for the Red Sox. John Burkett, 7 strong innings.
Right, 7 strong innings. He was able to, like I said, keep him off balance with the big curveball. But then you had Embry and Kim who came right in, no hits. They were solid as well. That's what's making this shape up as one of the best teams in the league, because they have the tremendous offense that we know about, but it's their pitching that's starting to come together.
Yeah, Alan Embry, too, just quietly now putting together what is turning into be a fine season for him.
Right, and he started off really slow. When you have a pitcher that comes, you know, into the season, there's some uncertainties or whatever, it's hard to really get going. But as the team starts to gel, as you know what your role is, because back then they were talking about closers by committee, everyone knows what they're doing now, and that's what's making it fun for everyone.
In 15 of Alan Embry's last 17 outings, he has not been scored upon. And, you know, if he has that kind of dominance, especially in front of Byung-Hyun Kim, that's the perfect setup, man. I mean, he really has found it again, Sam, and that's a very big positive for this ball club.
Right, and he's throwing the ball up there 95, 96 miles an hour. Earlier we were talking about off speeds and all of that. He has to stay with his strength, which is basically throwing that gas up there. It comes from momentum and comes from having a strong mental. Right now he's doing really well, and I just hope the best for him, and he should continue.
Let me give you this, too. Over his last 23 outings now, hitters are 9 for 74 against him. That's like a $120 clip.
Right, and like you said, doesn't matter who you are. If you're throwing gas like he is, that's a tremendous sight. You have the offset of Kim coming in, throwing that frisbee. So, like you said, good setup, man.
All right, the Red Sox now 54 and 37. They went into play tonight 2 games back of the Yankees. The Yankees just went ahead of Toronto. That is right now a 6-5 game in the 7th inning. We'll keep you up to date on that. And, of course, the final score and highlights tomorrow on the new and improved NESN Sports Desk. But right now we go to the phones and up to Vermont. It's Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
First of all, I just want to say it's a lot of fun watching the way things are settling in lately and looking forward to the second part of the season.
Yeah, it really is. The other thing, Chris, over the second half of the season, the Red Sox will play 41 of their ball games at Fenway Park, and they've been terrific at Fenway this year, so it really bodes well, even though there is a little tough stretch on the schedule from about mid-August until the beginning of September.
Oh, right. Have to try and get down to one of those.
There you go.
No question.
What I was noticing the last few games, you guys were talking about Nomar there. It seems to me that he's been a little bit impatient, not only swinging first pitch, but just kind of swinging at everything. And also last night, I was wondering how much it helps somebody like him get back into things if, you know, watching everybody else hit the way they are, taking some of the pressure off of them.
Well, it's taking pressure off of them, but believe me, as a player, when you're out there and you see everyone else joining into the offensive explosion that's going on in Boston, you definitely are going up there trying a little bit too hard because you want to fit in. He knows that he's a very intricate part of this team, and he will be counted upon. As you well know, earlier in the season, he went through the same little slide, and then he came out and hit about 600 for the rest of that time. So if he can just continue to maybe go on into the All-Star break, get a little bit of a breather there, and then just come back on the second half, being Nomar.
Chris, the one thing that I thought was encouraging about Nomar's night tonight, and clearly I'm sure he's not happy with a 1-for-4 performance, but his one hit, he did go the other way, and Jim Rice made the point last night. He just felt like Nomar needed to think that way a little bit to get out of this slump. He's kind of trying to pull everything.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, because I heard him saying that last night, and unfortunately I missed the hit, but that's definitely encouraging.
Yeah, his hit was the other way. All right, Chris, thanks for the phone call. Let's talk to Jeff in Connecticut. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. I'm just concerned about John Burkett. I don't feel as if he's a number 5 starter, and he may be able to pitch well against Detroit and Kansas City, but going into the postseason, I think it's a pretty big concern. What do you think?
Well, anytime you talk about the postseason, you're in trouble if you got your number 5 starter going anyway because it's such a short series. So usually you're looking at your top 3 pitchers going. For me, I've been kind of surprised how well he's been pitching consecutively as far as the games. Earlier, he couldn't get any consistency, but I think over the last 5 games, Burkett has been doing the job. And you talk about these poor teams. He pitched against the Yankees, only gave up 4 runs. I think that was a good outing.
Yeah, Jeff, Sam makes a good point. If the Red Sox get to the playoffs, he wouldn't pitch. As a number 5 starter, he actually shut down St. Louis, too. He went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run against St. Louis. As you mentioned, Sam, he gave up the 4 runs against the Yankees. I think everybody kind of has an uneasiness about John Burkett because you watch what he's throwing up there, and it doesn't seem dominant. You're like, how come they can't hit it? And even though they aren't hitting it, you're thinking, okay, eventually they will.
Right, and that's the same way people think about Tim Wakefield. It's not that these guys are overpowering. It's just because the way you see it on TV, it looks so easy to hit. But when you're up there in the batter's box, as you well see, these guys are major league players. They can't lay off that slow coming breaking curveball. So it's not how hard you throw, it's how you throwing it and where you put it.
Jeff, and I think we have to give the guy his credit, too. When he performs like that, I think you got to tip your cap to him and understand that he's certainly contributing to the ball club. Thanks for calling. Let's head back to Detroit now. Hear from Red Sox manager Grady Little.
Thanks very much, Grady. John Burkett, you know, just tell me what he did today, what made him successful, because obviously he pitched well.
Well, he had some good movement on his pitches today, and he also had good location. He was able to get through 7 innings there with a very low pitch count, and he gave us a great outing right there when we needed it. We had some runs early in the ball game, not a whole lot of runs, but it turned out to be enough. And then the home run by Veritek that gave us a 2-run lead there in the 1 inning. That was big.
You said some 10 days ago that once you move BK Kim to the closer's role, you think that whole bullpen would sort of solidify 14 innings and counting now without giving up a run. So clearly it's come together that way.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't start talking about that too much, but they have done awfully well, and everything's working out just fine. It's all about that little Korean we got back there at the back end.
Manny's hamstring, we talked about it before the game, and clearly looked like he was having a little bit of trouble running out there. What's his status?
Well, he's day-to-day. It's a little bit touchy, and we might be testing him a little bit too much here, but it's important for us to have him in that lineup just as like the first inning today. He got a big single up the middle to drive in our first run, and that's big.
All right, 4 straight on the road for the Red Sox. They win here in Detroit. Let's go back to Boston.
All right, Tommy, thanks very much. You know, it may be time for Grady Little to maybe just let Manny have these last couple of games off. If that hamstring's bothering him at all, you don't want to have him aggravated to the point where you lose him over a long period of time.
Right, and I hate to say this, you're playing a lesser team in Detroit. it's the time for Grady to go back and more or less use the strategy they had earlier in the season and getting some guys some at-bats.
Yeah, only because he's hurt. I mean, if he wasn't hurt, I'd say you have to play him, but you have to win these. Absolutely.
Right, true, but you still, like you say, you don't want to push him, because if you go ahead on and push him in a game where, you know, you're winning 7-1 and he hurts his leg and he's out for another week to 10 days, that's going to hurt you more than it helps you.
Well, and he was out forever with the Indians when he had the same injury, so you certainly don't want that to happen. Let's take a time out here on WB Mason's Extra Innings. We'll come back. We'll have more highlights and more post-game reaction from Detroit. We'll talk to you as well. Stay with us as the Red Sox win the first game of this 3-game series in Detroit.
Your home is one of your biggest investments, and if you're wanting to add some extra living space with a touch of style and elegance, there is no better way than with an American sunroom. Today, more and more people are investing in their homes to make it a more comfortable place to get away and relax. With an American sunroom, you can enjoy all nature has to offer, and there is no better way to make your home more enjoyable than adding a sunroom or patio cover, custom designed to fit your needs. And your American sunroom can be worth as much when you sell your home as you invested in it. This exciting and luxurious room is often referred to as a green room because it adds a new dimension to both your home and your lifestyle. What a great place to relax or entertain. If you call now, you'll take advantage of the best pricing all season. We offer easy financing with low monthly payments. And be sure to ask about your free video and planning guide. Call now. Operators are waiting to take your call. Start enjoying your American sunroom today.
Get your kicks with the Boston Breakers, New England's pro women's soccer team. Use your head. And stay tuned to NESN, your ticket to Boston Breakers action.
Mary Francis makes the move, turns again, takes the shot, score!
It's good to have goals. So tune in and catch the Breakers in WUSA competition on NESN Monday night at 7. The Boston Breakers take on the Philadelphia Charge. Pedro Martinez.
Struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pedro.
Derek Lowe.
Over the outside corner, he struck him out.
This season's 1-2 punch-out. One's a Cy Young Award winner with nothing but stuff. The other's got a no-hitter under his belt and a killer sinker in his back pocket. It's a call to arms this season on NESN. And if you can't be there, be here. Saturday, Sox-Tigers coverage at 6:30 on NESN.
It's been accumulative of a lot of things, but you know, mechanically I'm getting a lot more sound, and that's been the big thing. It's allowed my bat head to get out in front of my body.
Jason, John Burkett, I think 78 pitches. Does that speak to the groove he was in tonight and what he was able to accomplish?
Yeah, Burkett threw the ball well. He got a lot of ground balls on his changeup or his split today, and he was just good. And he just made one mistake, he paid for it.
This whole bullpen right now, I mean, it starts with BK at the end, but obviously it seems everybody's going out there doing their role to a T right now.
All this does is keep building their confidence. And all the confidence that got tore down all year, we're starting to really build on it, build it up.
Do you see a difference, I mean, confidence-wise in these guys coming up?
Definitely. We got different guys. They're different guys than they were at the beginning of the year. And like I said at the beginning of the year, we don't know how good they're going to be until we see them successful. And once we see them successful, then we know where we're at.
Thanks, Jason.
Well, I think it's an understatement to say that these guys are confident in the bullpen right now. Over the last 5 games, including tonight, 5 1/3 innings, no earned runs. This is an incredible stretch.
Right, and you knew it was coming. Just like Veritek said there, everyone was jumping on the bandwagon earlier, saying how they were just, you know, in awe of the pitching and they wasn't happy. But now everyone is starting to gel and put their contribution in, and that's what a winning team needs.
Scott in Seattle, Washington, you're up next. Hi, Scott.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey.
Let me get this out of the way. If the Red Sox go on, they'll go on in spite of Grady.
All right.
But anyway, my question is about Jason. I'm very happy for him, as many people are, and he said something illuminating a couple weeks ago in an interview about he was stronger this year. And, of course, you notice in the later innings, he's had so many big-time late-inning hits. Do you know of any particular conditioning program that he has alluded to that he went through in the off-season as compared to other years? Because he definitely is, and he's coming through them, and it makes me think of Yaz being the first one to actually go through the conditioning program and then have the Triple Crown the next year?
Sam,
well, I really can't say because you're asking a personal question about Jason, so I really don't know what type of program that he went on. But I can tell you, whatever it is, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people asking the same question.
Yeah, it's just amazing because you can have a lot of guys hitting 300, and that's wonderful. But he's coming up with the big-time hits when they're needed. He's done it at least 5 or 6 times that I've watched, and he is stronger through the end of the game this year. And I was just wondering if there was anything inside of that you guys knew about.
Well, he's always worked very hard in the offseason. He always comes into camp in great shape. I don't know if he did anything differently. I think when he was talking about feeling stronger, again, last year he was coming off the injury. He was a little tentative. I mean, this year he's really playing the game with a lot of confidence. And to see him over 300 now with 16 home runs, the Red Sox have something special in Jason Varitek right now.
Right, and anytime you talk about his training and his conditioning, what happens is confidence as well. Once you come into the season and you start feeling good and you get off to a good start, it's like anything else. If you continue to have that snowball effect, you're going to be successful, and that's what's happening with Jason Varitek right now.
Scott, thank you for the call. Let's talk to Seth in Pawtucket. Hi, Seth.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Sam, it's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. When I was a kid, I went down to McCoy and saw you all the time, so it's a privilege of talking to you.
How you doing?
Doing all right.
Okay.
My question, how ridiculous is this team with hitting? I mean...
It's incredible.
Oh, my God.
They're the best team in baseball. That's how I feel right now.
Oh, my God. Do you guys know of any trades that they're going for pitching in the...
Well, Bill LaJoy, who's, Theo Epstein's right-hand man, has been down watching Sidney Ponson from the Orioles. I think he was there to watch him pitch last night. I think they're just basically going to look around until they find the right match for this team. I mean, you don't want to be short-sighted, add somebody and give up too much. So they're going to be very careful in what kind of move they might make.
Cool.
But the other name you hear a lot about is Andy Ashby, too, Sam.
Right, and like you said, he's a good pitcher. I know the Dodgers were down on him a little bit, but he's definitely somebody who could help this team.
You think so?
He has a lot of good stuff. So
you think so? I wonder how much he really changes this rotation. I think
he doesn't change it to that point where, like you said, it's a pitcher that just boom, we got our man. So, like you said, you don't want to give up too much, though. That's the key.
Seth, the Red Sox are on pace to break their all-time home run record for a single season. So you talk about this offense, scoring runs in bunches and hitting home runs too, and Jason Varitek going deep for the Red Sox, and that brings us to your W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Who bought the all-star catcher, Jason Varitek, to give us the delivery of the game? And Sam, this is off the fair pole, not the foul pole.
There it is. It's a foul pole in the fair territory. You're right. I don't know what to say.
Jason Varitek, our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. The Red Sox keep it rolling in Detroit. 5-3 is your final. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
If you missed Sports Plus Wednesday night, you missed great sports talk and a whole lot of this.
Now that it counts, the question is, should it?
I have no problem with it.
All-star games have had their day.
Right. Time out.
This will never be what it was.
No, can't argue with that.
You know what? It's kind of like a lot of things in life.
The Boston Globe Sports Plus, sponsored by Sam Adams, Wednesday. It takes a great team to cover a great team. Just check out this lineup. Major League veteran Bob Tewksbury, Sox slugger Sam Horn, and legends Jim Rice and Dennis Eckersley. Anchored by Bob Rogers in the studio and Tom Caron in the field. These guys know how the game is played and know how to play the game. NESN, we've got your Sox covered.
Watch NewEnglandPGA.com Sunday nights at 7:30 and Tuesday evenings at 5:30 exclusively on NESN. Each week we'll get great instruction from New England PGA members, plus golf tips from the Stowe Acres Golf School. We'll visit the Woodstock Inn, the Queechee Club, the Bethel Inn, Granite Links Golf Club, and we'll get a first-hand look at one of the newest private courses in New England, the breathtaking Lake Winnipesaukee Golf Club in New Hampshire. NewEnglandPGA.com Sunday nights at 7:30, Tuesdays at 5:30 exclusively on NESN.
Tonight's show is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
All right, not only are the Red Sox on a roll, but they have the man on the hill tomorrow.
Right, we see Pedro going in there doing exactly what he needs to do, which is go on and come out of this with a win. There's Nothing really to say, just be Pedro.
You know, I know the wins are down for Pedro for a lot of different reasons, the bullpen contributing to some of that, but Pedro's numbers are definitely all-star worthy.
Right, and you know, if he had a couple more wins in there and definitely was at the league leader in wins, he would be on the all-star team, because everyone looks at that bottom line, which is wins and losses. They're not going to parade around and say, well, hey, he could have had. That's the way it is.
All right, two quick things before we say goodbye. First of all, the Yankees now out in front 8-5 against the Blue Jays. That after Toronto coming back from a 5-0 deficit. John Wasden gets to start for Toronto tonight. He lasted, Sam, 1 inning, gave up 5 runs. He was gone. I bet you he'll be gone out of Toronto pretty quick. Again, it's 8-5. The Red Sox are 2 games back going into tonight, so if the Yankees hang on to win, it will stay the exact same. And then all of us here at NESN would like to wish Brian Zaccello and his new wife, Melissa, the very best. They were married tonight down in Rhode Island, so congratulations, Brian. He's part of the crew here. Everybody hopes you have fun on the honeymoon. We had fun tonight bringing you a Red Sox win. Once again, your final score for the final time from Comerica Park in Detroit. The Red Sox beat the Tigers 5-3. And our next action is tomorrow night with Pedro on the hill. The Boston Globe pregame report at 6:30. And this has been an exclusive presentation of NESN, your ticket to Boston Red Sox baseball. Good night, everybody.
Towards deep right center field. He dives and makes the catch. Boston wins. Is it a monster shot? Yes, it is. Way struck him out. How about that? Makes it look easy, doesn't it? It is fair, and it is gone. Red Sox win it. Ball is
gone. We now join ESPN News, already in progress.
Enjoyed being here the past 2 years. I worked hard with my teammates and believe in our future. I've been fortunate to have had significant interest from other great organizations, but ultimately I want to finish what we started here and bring a championship to the Nets. So the Spurs now turn their attention elsewhere.
I don't know that you think it's a long shot when you've got a championship program, a great player like Tim Duncan, and a heck of a good place to play with great facilities. You don't shy away from you know, trying to bring in the best talent you can. And, you know, we've done that on several fronts, and we'll continue to do that as we go forward.
But wait, there's more. Kid's decision will help the Nets land Alonzo Mourning. Free agent center sat out last season with a kidney disease, but he's been cleared to play next season. He'll get a 4-year, $20 million deal. Pat Riley said the Heat couldn't match that deal, so Zoe is headed north.
I'm just excited about the opportunity to just